Welcome, YouTube, to the Hit or Miss Show. I'm the big dog.
I'm lucky, y'all.
We got everything we need for this review. We got our beverages.
I got a Florida State flag.
And boy, let me tell you.
We got a hell of a topic today.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the movie Chips, which was based off the TV series Chips. I went into this movie with low expectations because I didn't hear good things about it when it first came out back in 2017. But, you know, I have to admit, it did make me laugh.
I liked it. It was definitely in our or section. We thought it'd be a complete miss, but it was in our or section.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been better. It could have definitely been worse.
Yeah.
It starred Michael Pena, Dax Shepard, and Vincent D'Onofrio. It's about an undercover FBI agent teaming up with a former motocross champ to bring down a armored car heist. And yeah, it was good. It wasn't great, but it was good.
Yeah,
like I said,
horrible.
Like I said, it made me laugh.
Better than Men Who Stare at Goats.
Oh God, yeah, that's definitely on the top of our list now. I mean, congratulations, Power Rangers, you moved to number 2, which isn't saying much because we only have 3 movies on the list so far.
So, I mean,
this movie, I think I'd put it at like number 10. Not the greatest, but not the worst. So yeah, it starts out with Ponch in Miami, and Dax Shepard is in California getting ready to train to be a highway patrolman, which is kind of funny because Dax Shepard actually directed this movie.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah. He was also a writer too. He also wrote it. And the movie didn't even break even at the box office.
Nah, it was like
they owed money.
Yeah, almost $1 million.
Yeah, they actually owed money when this bitch got played. Like $18 million US. Another, it was like $26 million worldwide at a $25 million budget. Yeah, that's.
No, $26 budget, and they only made $25.
Yeah, they were kind of.
Which it was a better movie than fucking
The
Men Who Stare at Goats.
Yes.
You know the only difference? The Men Who Stare at Goats had better actors. More known actors.
Yeah, I mean, Dax Shepard, I mean, he's done some cameos and stuff, and Michael Pena's been in a few things, but nothing big, you know? He hasn't done anything. I think the last movie I seen him in was like 30 minutes or less when he played a hitman.
I mean, just The Men Who Stare at Goats. You had
George Clooney,
Kevin Spacey,
Jeff Bridges,
Ewan
McGregor, which I've known I've seen him in other stuff, but I couldn't put my finger on what he's been in.
Yeah.
But this one, the only 2 actors I really known was Dax Shepard and Michael Pena from their earlier careers when they were trying to make a name for themselves.
Except the cameo.
Except for, cameo. Oh, yeah. And there was a cameo of Eric Estrada, who was in the original TV series Chips. It made me laugh.
There were some funny parts.
Yeah. And all the women in the movie were bangable.
Oh my God.
I was like, damn, I almost want to go out to California just to see the babes.
Lots of tits.
Lots of titties.
Lots of ass, too.
Lots of ass. Lots of yoga pants.
Yeah, lots of yoga pants.
Which is a funny thing. The running joke towards the middle of the movie up to the end was Ponch likes to eat ass.
Yeah.
And Dax's character is like...
Gross.
Yeah, he's like, really? Now, let's look at the characters. Now you got Poncherello, Michael Pena's character, who is a womanizer. He has sex with all types of women, no matter what they look like, as long as the sex is great. Then you had, who's a decorated FBI agent, blah, blah, blah. Great marksman. Terrible bike rider, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Every time he's on a motorcycle, he has to crash at least one time during the scene.
Yeah.
This guy crashed his bike on flat pavement. Then you have Dax Shepard's character, John Baker, who was a motocross champ who got into so many wrecks. They said in the movie he had like 23 surgeries.
Yeah.
And basically every part of his body has been worked on at least once. And he's on pharmaceutical painkillers. Which is a running joke throughout the movie too. His wife, him and his wife are having problems, and he keeps talking about it like it's some big thing.
His wife's fucking other dudes.
Yeah, and I was telling Lucky over here, I was like, dude, your wife's fucking other guys, bro.
The whole fucking movie.
Yeah, and his wife's a dick.
Yeah. Sold the house right under him when he was in the hospital.
It was his house, and she was making him sleep in the guest house while she was fucking a grown-ass man taking swimming lessons.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote, yeah. So basically that's the characters' backgrounds, and Michael Pinay comes around to Dak Shepard because of his knowledge of bikes and his intuition, because he goes into the house and he goes into the guys that died house and figures out, okay, she got over him pretty quick. There's none of his stuff here, but turns out he had an apartment with another guy.
Yeah.
And all his stuff was there, and Ponch never even figured that out.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the movie...
They play off each other real well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as a buddy cop movie, it was great, but I think they could have gone with a different title besides Chips.
Well, the only reason they made it like Chips is because they were trying to go after the TV series.
Yeah, a lot of movies did that for a while. They would go after... They did it with Miami Vice. They did it with Starsky and Hutch. They did it with Chips. Shaft. And I'm sorry, but Dukes of Hazzard, they even did it with Dukes of Hazzard. But I'm sorry, but you know, what was good back then should be left back then.
Yeah.
The A-Team. They even did it with the A-Team.
Yeah, they sure did.
Which, by the way, A-Team, great movie. TV show, great TV show. But yeah, this movie it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
The running joke of the Painkillers is every time you see Dak Shepard, he's popping opiates.
Yeah.
And chewing them like handfuls at a time because, like I said, so many injuries. And he makes a comment at the beginning of the movie that he couldn't even live in Seattle, which plays a role in the middle of the movie.
Right, because of the rain. When the rain... He's got, like you said, he's been worked on so many times that when it's rain, it basically renders him...
completely useless.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it rains outside. He couldn't even... And you would think that this man would keep his pills by his bedside. No. You know where he kept them? He kept them in the other side of the room, in the bathroom. And he had to go out... Okay, I get it. He's in pain. But wouldn't the logical explanation be rolling over to the other side of the bed and getting out on the other side of the bed instead of trying to get up?
It definitely saved you a few owie steps.
Yeah. And the other thing was Ponch is going to the bathroom 2 or 3 times a day just to masturbate because he was under orders that he couldn't have sex with any of the girls there, even though that never stopped him. So yeah, it was. I guess it had a lot of jokes and a lot of deflecting, and a couple times Dak Shepard actually saves Michael Pinay's life, and even though he was kind of a dick to him from the beginning, you know, it's like, wow, you know, you got this guy that saved your life twice, and you're still a dick to him.
Yeah, and I don't know, it was like we said, it wasn't the worst, wasn't the best. It's definitely in our or section of hit or miss.
It's a good movie to put on if you don't want
background noise,
or if you don't want a movie that's going to make you do a lot of thinking, you know.
Yeah, definitely not a lot of thinking in this movie.
Yeah, where the men who stare at goats may have hurt our brain. Oh, okay. So yeah, it makes her brain hurt. And
you make my brain hurt.
Yeah. But in all fairness, yeah, it's fun. It's a fun movie. Like I said, you put it on for background noise, or if you just want something to kind of be laid back with and just kind of chill. Yeah, Netflix and chill. Which is kind of funny because we watched this on Netflix.
We don't have a prop for it because
we don't have a lot of DVDs that. We don't have a lot of DVD cases to use as props, so.
Yeah.
But we're working on it, little by little. Anyways, so they got this one chick that's a motorcycle cop, short hair, gorgeous.
Blonde.
No, it's dark hair.
Oh yeah, okay.
Cute little thing too. That's trying to hook up with Dax Shepard throughout the whole movie, and even she's like, your wife's cheating on you, bro.
Yeah.
Like every time he gets into the room with her and they talk about going on a ride together or whatever, he's like, "Oh, I'm married. Well, my wife's gonna pick me up." Okay, first of all, there's a scene in the movie. He gets hit by a truck, and he's out. They don't know how long he's out or how many days he was in the hospital or whatever. He had like a tube down his throat. I mean, it was bad. And the girl checked in on him. His partner checked in on him.
His partner called his wife.
And it went straight to voicemail. Didn't even bother to come in and check in on him because she was too busy fucking the adult male that can't swim. Apparently. And, yeah, so basically Dax Shepard kind of got fucked. Yeah, so he's waiting out there for his wife to pick him up. His partner ends up picking him up.
Yeah.
Now, get this. Okay, so he was texting this one detective, Michael Panay's character, thinking that it was the other girl. And so they do a FaceTime chat.
And it gets up, all right, nice feet.
Nice legs.
Nice breast. And it turns out to be an old captain.
He's like, those boobies aren't... They get bigger?
Yeah.
And yeah, it turned out to be the captain. Or the chief, or whatever you want to call her. And he was freaking out and throwing his phone in the fireplace. But yeah, so they figure out that D'Onofrio's character is a bad guy. So he kidnaps. So they get into a chase. D'Onofrio's son gets killed. Stupidly, if I might add.
Oh, with the with the
decapitation.
Yeah, he ran into a steel cable.
Yeah, which is kind of funny. They were looking. It was kind of funny because they were looking at the pictures, and they're like, "Oh man, that's career ending." The guy got decapitated, folks. And besides, his career ended a long time ago with all the heroin that he was doing.
Yeah, always high.
So D'Onofrio's character decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to kidnap his wife. And the one thing that made me laugh was he takes his dead son's... Dax Shepard takes the guy's dead son's bike.
Motorcycle.
Yeah. You kidnap my wife, I take your dead son's bike. And again, Ponch crashes into a water, which kind of funny enough, they go to escape this compound where the wife was at, and they crash into the same lake that he crashed in earlier.
Yeah.
Is this the same hole you crashed in earlier? He's like, yep.
I think so.
Yep.
In the process, he gets 3 of his fingers shot off.
And then the whole time, this guy's wife is still being a dick.
Yeah, man up.
Yeah, man up. Do something. And he's sitting there having a cast fight with this other cop that happens to be D'Onofrio's nephew.
Yeah.
And she's just sitting there like, do something. Okay, first of all, he's getting his ass kicked. And he's defending you. Stop being a dick for 5 minutes. And then finally he gets into the, so they get into the ambulance, and that's when they had the Eric Estrada cameo. And as they're getting loaded up, his wife's like, why don't I ride with you and then you can come back to the house? Well, first of all, the house is sold, which means he'll be going back with you to another man's house.
Yeah.
Awkward. And finally he stands up to his wife and says, you're kind of a dick.
You're kind of a dick.
Like all the pictures in his guest house of him winning all his trophies and stuff, and it's all her standing in front of him holding up the trophy.
Yeah.
Self-centered much? So then finally the other female comes up and says, hey, you want to ride with me over? He's like, we gonna put out? He's like, hey, I want to take you up on that ride.
She's like, all right, but are you going to put out? He's like, yeah, I know the deal. No cash, ass, or grass.
Yeah, ass, cash, or grass. I know the deal. And they get down there, they're making out, and they're talking about, like, damn, look at that ass.
Yeah, and
Eric Shaw's like, how did a guy like that end up with a gorgeous chick like that who doesn't even eat asshole?
Yeah.
And then, of course, 2 months later, during all this, he shoots his other partner twice, his FBI partner twice. And the funny part, I love the part where the FBI captain's like, would you quit shooting Alan? But anyways, he gets fired, so he ends up becoming a full-fledged California Highway Patrol. And they work out their differences, and they make a good partnership. They make a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, this is a great movie if you don't want to do a lot of thinking. And right off the bat, you can already tell who the bad guy is. I mean, it's not a big secret. It's not like a big plot twist at the end.
Yeah, they basically got a guy that looked like a silverback gorilla.
Yeah. And you could tell it was him when they did the first jacking because of his size and the way he talked. You would think you'd have like a voice changing thing or something. The motorcycles are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, Dak Shepard, he can ride, but I don't know how he got into all those accidents, the way he can ride. I mean, he rides good.
That's probably why.
That happens. I mean, even the best drivers and riders get wrecks.
Yeah, look at NASCAR.
Yeah.
Prime example.
Yeah. And they're going in a fucking circle. These guys are jumping, 20-foot hills.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, that was Chips. And they never left it open for... They actually kind of did leave it open for a sequel, which never got made. Maybe one day.
Maybe it might outshine this one. Like I said, like we've been saying, it's not that it's a bad movie. It's just not a real great movie.
Yeah.
I think it should have made more at the box office. But like I said, the reason for that is because they didn't have any big name actors.
Yeah, and the funny thing is it had a lot of sexual overtones and it's just they made it more like the show.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been a better movie, not 100% like the show, but I mean the first 5 minutes of the movie you're seeing tits and ass, and then he wakes up next to a woman in bed with tits and ass.
Yeah. And he's got her name.
Yeah. And then he crumbles it up and throws it in the trash can.
Which has got a bunch of other
names. But, yeah, it's definitely in our orb pile. Like I said, it came out in 2017, which was kind of late in the TV show movie genre. I'm kind of glad it came out when it did instead of, during the Starsky and Hutch, Miami Vice era. Because at the time we were getting saturated with like Miami Vice, Starsky and Hutch, A-Team, Dukes of Hazzard. I mean, everybody, they were making nothing but TV show movies, and but yeah, that was our shot on Chips. I would definitely watch it again. I'd watch it a couple more times just because, like I said, it's an easy watch. But please like, share, subscribe, ring that little bell.
Ring a ding, y'all, ring a ding.
And if you haven't already, check out our other videos. We just did when this video comes out, we just wrapped up Avengers Month.
Yeah.
And we do plan on doing a full tribute to Stan Lee later on. It's just we ran out of time in July. But to our 10 subscribers out there, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, we love y'all.
Leave a comment down below, and speaking of Starsky and Hutch, I think that's going to be our next review.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Well,
we might actually do a good movie next.
Well, like always, this is the big dog. I'm Lucky, y'all. Good night.
You all have a good night.